Yamanobe no Michi, or Yamanobe Road. So Michi is road, and Yamanobe literally means along the side of the road, along the side of the mountain. So it's literally the road along the mountains. Because on the eastern side of the Nara Plain, you have a long mountain range with a couple of sacred mountains in there.
Winds you back into a sense of antiquity, which is really worth spending 2 days, maybe arrive the night before from wherever you're staying, get up if you can handle it and go to a morning service at the Hase Temple, walk through, and possibly, taking a leisurely walk, you might well want another night along the way. And then the second day's walking, you'd get to your destination 4 or 5 o'clock, and then you're ready to get a train back to wherever is next on your route. I think it'll be highly recommended, and it can be done without putting yourself out very much, because this road is only an hour from either Osaka or Kyoto, and yet it's another world.
Yamanobe no Michi, or Yamanobe Road, is the oldest road that is known from the historical records. It already pops up in the 8th century chronicles that were written at the courts. And at that time, it was a very important road, because it was actually along this road that we see the final resting place of many of the early emperors.
Why would you recommend people to walk it today?
I think the main attractor is, in a very short distance, you can see many different types of cultural heritage. So we've got Buddhist temples, we've got major shrines, we've got the burial mounds, there's plentiful of nature, there's a few exhibition spaces, some of them have been there for a while, some have been newly established. So it's kind of an easy way to get many different aspects of Japanese culture.
It never was a highway to take you as fast and easy as possible from A to B. It always was a rather wandering and meandering path, and it's always had little branches off to go here and there. And I would think of it as kind of like a little it's like a thread with jewels hanging off it. And if you've got time, and not everyone's interested in every single thing, but just to sort of branch off and come back and see. And it's not only the historical things, there's some very interesting, there's like a research lab for restoration of cultural properties, which is very interesting. You might want to wander off to see one of these tumulus mounds, which is not quite on the route. So there's probably pretty much endless, right? But everyone would have their preferences, and there's plenty to see all along the way. I would guess a lot of people who are thinking of doing this walk have already seen Tokyo, a wonderful, exciting, busy modern city. And they've probably already seen Kyoto filled with medieval temples. But what they may not have seen much of is the Japanese nature. They may not have got outside and had a jolly good walk for a couple of days, not a hard walk, but a very nice walk to the countryside, to see a few villages, and to remember that actually Kyoto is not the beginning of the story in Japanese history. You can see things which go much further back, and Kyoto is pretty well documented. But here we're going back, we're walking through myth. Most of the temples and shrines along the way, they tell you the history, but actually when you look at it closely, it often says, temple tradition states that, right? Or it is thought that. I mean, you're walking through a pre-literate landscape, which is absolutely fascinating to see, and you don't often have that chance. And these magnificent old trees and old farmsteads and things really make you feel something you probably don't feel anywhere in Japan.
And that's, I think, also strengthened by the fact that you don't have high-rise buildings in this vicinity yet, and very small roads kind of winding and meandering through the landscape. And when you stand here, and especially when you look towards the plain, you're really looking back into history, because that's where what we now know as the country of Japan started to coagulate. It's where we find the very first capital cities. It's where we find the very first of these big, giant burial mounds. So it really is, in a sense, the beginning of what we now have.